Lots of fans are wondering what's going on with Bray Wyatt, so we'll take a look at that. We'll also check out what's being said for Trish Stratus, Jey Uso, and more. Let's start things off with Bray Wyatt because this is a growing topic of concern amongst the community. So, as soon as Bobby Lashley went down on the books as the winner at Elimination Chamber, that meant that Bobby Lashley would be facing Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. Fans were skeptical about the feud and match almost immediately because everyone questioned what story was really there to tell between Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley. Some fans were being optimistic and saying, let it play out and see what unfolds. Well, with WrestleMania only a handful of weeks away, there's only a few small segments to this WrestleMania match build-up. The first moment happened on Raw, where Bray Wyatt's Muscle Man dance interrupted Bobby Lashley as he was walking up the ramp. It was a really strange moment and didn't really do much to push the story forward and narrative forward. Also, not to mention that it was old recycled footage of Bray Wyatt dancing from 2019. So it wasn't like current day Bray Wyatt was interrupting Bobby Lashley. It was just a 4-year-old footage airing on the screen. So it wasn't really the most explosive start to a feud. And then a few days after that, Bobby Lashley comes out on SmackDown to call out Bray Wyatt. He instead gets attacked by Uncle Howdy, and that was that. It still wasn't the best build-up ever, but at least something was still unfolding and pushing the story forward. But then on the March 10th edition of SmackDown, everyone was ready to see what appearance Bray Wyatt would make to keep the story going with Bobby Lashley. But instead, we got nothing. No Bobby Lashley, no Bray Wyatt, no Uncle Howdy, and no progression for the story at all. Now, there was a QR code that some fans noticed on SmackDown that seemed to be hinting at more things happening for the story on Raw. But it was later discovered that the QR code was allegedly fake. So, there was a lot of questions surrounding the legitimacy of that QR code. So if the QR code was fake, after all, that means that there really wasn't any progression for the Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt storyline. And that seriously worries the fans because we're so close to WrestleMania, and every single match that's taking place at WrestleMania is getting TV time right now to build up their story. Every single match on the WrestleMania card from top to bottom is getting TV time right now. Everything except Bobby Lashley versus Bray Wyatt. So it has fans throwing up their hands and seriously scratching their heads because this is weird. It's supposed to be a WrestleMania match, but there's little to no build-up, and Bray Wyatt hasn't been physically seen in weeks. Last time we saw Bray Wyatt was that Firefly Funhouse episode that was all about the topic of who opened the door. And that was such a great Firefly Funhouse episode. It covered so many different topics. It was hinting at Alexa Bliss's return, a new beast that was coming. There were hints of Uncle Howdy's backstory, but then there was just no solid follow-up to that episode up until this point. And that's largely what everyone's complaint has been about when it comes to Bray Wyatt's segments and story. They're all great and intriguing as standalone segments, but the issue is that they don't really seem to connect and flow with each other as one big connected story. That's everyone's main complaint. So it's been a situation that everyone is talking about because this is the only match that's allegedly set for WrestleMania that's basically missing from WWE television. So only time will tell what exactly is going on there, but it is concerning to a lot of fans. A new rumor and report is going around regarding Trish Stratus. So earlier reports were talking about how there's an upcoming massive twist in the Trish Stratus and Damage Control storyline. And we talked about the possibility that it may be a heel turn for Trish Stratus, since she's been pitching that idea for a long time, and now reports claim that this very well may be in the plans after all. Reports claim that an early idea is being thrown around for Becky Lynch to end up facing a newly heel-turned Trish Stratus. As far as why Trish turns heel and what her motive is here, that's still unknown, and that'll be revealed to us within the storyline. But apparently it'll be a heel Trish Stratus versus Becky at SummerSlam. Just quickly brainstorming and theorizing some ideas, maybe Trish's deal is that she just doesn't believe that Becky Lynch belongs in the same ballpark as her and Lita. Trish and Lita have been a dynamic WWE duo for a long time now. Maybe Trish doesn't like how Becky was the tag team champions with Lita, and doesn't like how Becky's being treated like a legend, just like them. Maybe something along those lines is what fuels Trish's heel turn and gives her that motive to go against Becky in that way. And it'll be really interesting because usually when we see legends come back for their matches this late in their careers, they're usually always baby faces. This would be one of the rare times that a legend will be the heel in the story. So just an interesting aspect that we usually don't see that often. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, and of course the amazing match that it will lead to between Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch, potentially at SummerSlam. The March 10th edition of SmackDown featured Jey's return promo for the Bloodline. The story started with the Usos arriving to SmackDown and Paul Heyman giving Jey Uso the biggest greeting and welcome back into the Bloodline. Jey seemed very strong and passionate and immediately asked for Roman Reigns and wants Paul Heyman to tell him that he's here. This is the first thing Jey said because obviously Roman had put the deadline in place if Jey didn't rejoin the Bloodline. So Jey made sure to let Heyman know right away that he's here for them. But unfortunately, Roman Reigns wasn't there on SmackDown. So even though Jey Uso is back with the Bloodline, we still haven't seen him interact with Roman Reigns since he's been back. So that's still a big moment to look forward to there. Was this even a way of Roman, maybe even playing mind games with Jey Uso? He tells Jey Uso to be at this show or else. But then Roman doesn't even show up himself. Just really strange things going on there. It seems like they're delaying Roman and Jey's reunion, so something big is gotta happen there. But Jey gets on the mic and basically tells everyone to imagine themselves in his shoes, and he asks everyone what they would do. He went over several scenarios for how family always takes care of family. For light bills, for favors, for everything in life, it's always family. The Usos said that now that they've taken care of Sami Zayn, they're going to turn their full focus to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes comes out and Sami Zayn even appears to balance out the odds against the Usos. Obviously, to the Usos' surprise, they haven't gotten rid of the Sami Zayn issue after all. Sami Zayn is still there, but the problem is that obviously Cody Rhodes can't help Sami full-time with the Usos because he has to worry about Roman Reigns himself. So that's when Kevin Owens steps into this story to help Sami Zayn with the Usos, while Cody Rhodes takes care of Roman Reigns. And of course, the story after WrestleMania to keep an eye on will obviously be the true foundation of the Bloodline if they do end up losing some titles after WrestleMania. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.